Hello and welcome. You are watching QTV and you are watching This Morning. At this point, you probably normally hear a voice saying, I am Ibrahim Asori Balde. But I hope you don't notice that I'm not Ibrahim Asori Balde. I'm Ade Darami. And today we actually have the three wise men. Sitting next to me, I have Mamadou Mboj. So Mboj, welcome to This Morning. And also going through the newspapers, we'll have our MD, Mr. Malika. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr.
And to you, the viewers, we apologize for the late start. The rain has caused absolute havoc with everybody today, and we are no exception. So what have we got on the menu today? Well, usually we'll have as the African proverb, and we'll also have the newspaper review. We'll be delving into that. And then later on in the program, something very, very close to my heart, and also I know Mr. Carr's safety and precaution tips. And we'll have Mr. Abdou Cisse. He's a civil engineer and a health safety officer, and he'll be giving us some of the health safety tips that we should be paying attention to.
Electrical in this time.
Especially electrical, as Mr. Carr has rightly said. And then later on in the click segment, rain permitting, we will have Churchill Balde and DJ Meti. So that's what's on the program. So gentlemen, I think we need to delve now into the African proverb, and it'll pop up on the screen. Oh, this is a good one. If you do what is never done, you will see what is never seen. Oh, how deep is that? Mr. Carr, I see you nodding along. So I have the first pop at it.
That's very true.
If you do what is never done.
It's talking about a creative mind, you know, being able to be innovative and not just be repetitive because something is being done the same way over and over again. You have to think out of the box. You have the audacity to be able to, you know, sometimes do things that are not in the conventional way. And that is how life and human progress has been. Because science and technology was through research and repetition until they were able to find some things, rather than just believing in the same way, the same thing over and over again, getting the same results over and over again. Only a fool does that.
Only a fool does that. As you said, keep making the same mistake and hoping for a different result. Mr. Mboj, what's your take on it?
Absolutely. Science, technology, the arts, imagination is the lifeblood of culture, really, in the longer term, isn't it, in many ways? So this is it. I cannot be using sort of the old methods and expect sort of new results, isn't it?
Well, this is it.
So the old methods will only give me familiar results. So really, if I want to change my lot, I need to change the outcomes in my life. You go back to changing what you do, doing and seeing, isn't it?
Well,
what you put in, really in the end, that's really what you get out.
That's why scientists are crazy. Because they think differently. That's why we tend to see them as people that are out of, you know, the norms and ways of doing conventional
and sometimes you come up with something that's innovative, and because it's so new and different, people will actually attack you. We've seen it, you know, through history and so on, until eventually people say, oh, actually, no, this is actually the way we should be going. And then
look at food, genetic modification. Initially, you know, people, and now it's feeding the whole world. Without that, we have no ability or capacity to feed the human population because the production has to be such that. But people were very cynical and everything. And even 5G, when it came in UK, people talk about all these they have these theories about because people are afraid of thinking and doing things in a different way. And as long as you are afraid, you cannot step into the water to measure how deep it is to cross to the other side of the bank. And if you don't go on the other side of the bank, you will not see the green or the beauty that is. I leave that to Mboj. His literary mind is already jumping, you know, I guess.
During the Olympics, I was watching the high jump, and I said to the people in the office, I said, do you know this technique that they're all using? It's called the Fosbury flop.
The what?
Fosbury flop. You know, where you go with your back and then you go over the bar. A guy called Dick Fosbury was the first person to use it. When everybody went, what the heck is this? Because before they used to, the style was called the straddle. You jump with the feet, or you go, you know, knee first and over. And then he came, 1964 Olympics or 68, somebody will correct me. And he went with his back, and he was clearing much higher heights. And now 99% of high jumpers
the head
using.
One? They used to go the head first as well.
But nobody does that now. Nobody does that now. You go, you know, kind of sideways on and over the bar, and then you know it had never been seen, never been done.
Once the upper part of the body goes, then you can
flip your legs.
Yeah,
yeah.
That makes sense.
But that's the fascinating thing. Human beings in change.
Yes.
You change human beings, you know, and they'll be kicking and screaming, as it were. So all revolutionary ideas at first were really heresies. Quite extraordinary.
I mean,
then afterwards they become that. Suddenly the creative thought becomes cliche.
Yeah, quite. It becomes the norm. It becomes.
That is why pioneers.
Remember Galileo when he came with his
absolutely.
heretic.
Extraordinary. Yep.
You couldn't have believed it because that. But sometimes humans have to think outside of the box for curiosity and for progress and for move. It might not be right sometimes, for most of the time, but you just have to get it right once, and then there is a qualitative leap.
Sure.
You know, you have that change, it becomes qualitative, and then that is transformative. And that's what you look into, the minds that are very critical. That's why we advocate, especially as educators, not to do rote learning, being repetitive. You have to develop that critical aptitude, be able to think out of the box, and then develop something new.
And I think for us human beings, a lot of the time it's kind of getting our head around concepts. I saw a guy on YouTube who's got tens of thousands of followers, and all of them believe that this stuff about the earth being round is nonsense. They say the earth is flat. And he's got tens of thousands of people who believe. And he went up in a plane and he said, you see, I've proved it. It's not round, it's flat. I was like, in this 2024, somebody's still...
those ones are fools, because where science have established
that, of course, you know, but they can't...
But you will have fools, so sometimes people enjoy these things.
And he was being serious.
That's it. And that also tells you about the ecology of media, information sharing, and, you know, with this technology today. It's a complex marketplace of all sorts of things. I call it the digital Babel, the Tower of Babel, but this one is digital. So absolutely.
But that's why also you have to put in the filters, where you have to fact check.
Yeah, of course.
You know, information, because information goes very quickly nowadays, 24 hours, you know, and you are processing a lot of information because the mediums that exhibit it are so many. You have different channels, different people, so you have to have the facts sometimes, because if you mislead, the consequences can be dire.
I said on one recent forum, I said on a WhatsApp forum just this week, I said, from what I've observed in the forum, I said it seems as if rumor travels faster than fact.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody will come up with a rumor, nobody checks it, 100 people have shared it.
Because it's exciting.
It's like, no, check your facts. And the facts don't support what you just shared. Well, no, you know, you've shared it in hundreds of...
Who was it, the English writer who said that by the time truth is tying its shoelaces, falsity has gone round the world 200 times. But don't worry, it will finish tying its shoelaces, and it will come along sooner or later. The facts will go through.
The wise may tarry, but shall never go astray.
Absolutely. I think that's a nice one to end our delve into the African proverb. It's a nice one, and it gave us time to sort of explore it. And in fact, we've explored it to such an extent that, of course, I have to use Balde's. We were able to cogitate. I'm not Balde, but I'll have to use one of his words.
Absolutely.
So let's go for a commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll delve into what's making the headlines in our newspapers. Join us after this break.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work, and school projects? Think free night browsing. QCell's free night browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow.
Hello and welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, you are watching This Morning here on QTV, and as I said at the top of the show, we've got the three wise men. I have Mamadou Mboj and I have Malik Carr, and what do you mean, who's the other wise man? That's me, of course. You know, so, and let's delve into the newspapers, shall we? Let's go to Foroya. Let's go to Foroya, and it says impact of fall of Dalasi on debt stock is $7.56 billion. Now, the minister had gone to the National Assembly recently, and he mentioned how Gambia's debt had grown. So I guess this is a kind of continuation of that. They misunderstand
it, because it might not necessarily be a good thing. I would rather not be indebted, but you have to link it with progress and development. If you can account for the debt that you can show in terms of development, infrastructure and others, it can be justified. But also by taking a debt and not having a framework to pay it also, that is where the burden of the debt become an issue.
That's right.
Because you have to have a productive base which would be able to pay. And without that, then you are really having trouble.
And I was quite surprised at some of the people who are getting hysterical about this, because they obviously did not understand the basic concepts about debt, which you've just explained. Which is that, sometimes
debt mismanagement would be the problem. If you take
not having debt is the problem,
and also inability to pay, because that would undermine and create a lot of stress in the economy, a lot of stress in terms of the people conditions of living, in terms of deterioration or depreciation of the dalasi, that would directly impact on the lives of the people, because their purchasing power would be diminished.
Exactly.
And with the country, this is really what the problem is. Imagine that with my income, you tell me that your economy has grown by 5 or 6%. Fantastic. But if I'm spending maybe 75, 80% of that servicing debt, how much money remains for investment in social services and the like? Perhaps that is also what,
that's what needs to be looked at.
But you're absolutely correct. You can take debt and then make so much out of that. So it's really, when you take the money, how do you spend it? Is it efficient? Do you do it, put it in the most optimal, as it were, projects and the like. So that is really what the issue is.
You can reduce it to the micro level and even understand it, like you are running a home. So, I mean, if you take a debt and then you mismanage the debt, then you are in a hole. You cannot get out of the hole. But a country also works in the same way. They cannot be, they have to have fiscal policies and they have to have monetary policies that would be always addressing these issues in order not to slump. But it's a matter of concern that the dalasi is depreciating. So they have to put in measures that would reverse it rather than allow it, because it destroys businesses, it destroys the inability for people to purchase things, and then a host of other issues that are aligned to it. They must be mindful.
But this is the issue, though, the space we have to manipulate it appears as if it's really quite narrow, in the sense that an import-based economy. You really, when it comes to your currency and the like, you don't have much room in that. Most of your inflation is imported. It depends on what happens outside.
I agree, but we are a country that God has given a lot in terms of fresh water, in terms of rain, so we can develop the productive base to the extent that we will be exporting.
That's precisely the point. How do we do that? That's exactly the point.
And that's the fear that people have, because we're not doing it.
That's exactly
we have all
the
of
point.
We're not utilizing it, and that's the kind of some of the discussion.
I see the policy framework of the agricultural aspect is being laid so that we can accelerate, the production of the major import, which is rice. So if they can redress that balance and create that trade imbalance,
it will make a huge difference.
Absolutely. That will appreciate the dalasi. It will also address the issue of importing inflation sometimes. But with the conflicts in the world, certain things also are beyond our control.
That's exactly.
If you have the conflicts when prices of,
wheat and grain.
And even sheep coming over for all these costs are increased. It's a very complex thing when it comes to economy. But nonetheless, there are answers.
There are answers. So still staying on Foroya, there's an interesting one here from next door, Senegal. Prime Minister Sonko to unveil audit findings of state institutions today. Now, the reason why this matters is that 2 weeks ago, he was telling the nation that although there'd been a tradition of this being revealed, he didn't have to reveal it. So something has happened in the last 2 weeks, and now he's going to reveal.
Yeah, well, it's good. Transparency is important.
That's
when
what people were saying.
Are giving public funds as trustees.
Sure.
People are to be held accountable.
Yeah.
People ought to know. I don't know why, what the reason would have been for them to sit on reports. That should be made. Otherwise, there is no need to even conduct any of these audits if the public is not going to be aware.
He faced a lot of criticism at the time,
so
a couple of weeks ago.
It's good that they come in the open, but after that, it must not be a witch hunting exercise in which you just pursue people because of political reasons and otherwise. As long as things are open and transparent and the system have integrity, people will believe it and it will go to the end. And people will accept
absolutely. We see that they're trying to reorient the politics, the economy, as it were, away from sort of the old patronage, the old structure of patronage. That's what they want to break down.
That's they're trying to break.
This is going to be
extremely
difficult.
Mind you, the timing can be important as well.
Absolutely.
And I think the reason he's done it is because the opposition have been using it to campaign. They got elections coming up, of course. And so I think the noise around why are you saying that this has been a tradition for 50 years, you're going to break that tradition, what's your excuse, what's your reason? And I think the noise, the fact that the opposition have jumped on this and have been making a great play, they've issued press releases, you know, and all kinds of communiques blasting him, I think it's now forced him to say, well, okay, I give in.
The optics are important because if they feel that, you know, we're coming to elections, they're going to elections in November for the National Assembly, and all these things are coming, they might be doing the right thing, but they must be careful as well, not to give the impression that they're witch hunting.
So just finally, what they're trying to do is really rather a fascinating thing. They want to effect the revolutionary reorientation within a democracy.
Yeah, this is
People have made all the difference. When you take Kagame, we all know what's going on. But again, you need that firm hand to really change certain deep-seated, entrenched norms within a society. So they have a massively far more difficult job than anybody has realized.
And this is why they've called the election, of course, because they think that if they can have the majority in Parliament, that then all their proposals will sail through, rather than if they're battling the opposition who will block them just out of being bloody minded, really, not because it's for the benefit of the country, because some oppositions believe it's their job to oppose. And that's why they've said we'll call the elections early, and then let's.
Yeah,
but it's a risk.
The thing, though, is Senegal's democracy have matured. We have witnessed
of course,
the transition and what had happened. So it will be interesting and very exciting because there are lots of intellectuals, highly competent, able to analyze and assess the situation. And it's healthy in a democracy for this engagement to happen. People to discuss pros and cons, for and against. It's important, and that's the only way society thrives, because everybody have your own point of view. It ought to be respected within the context of, you know, doing it in good faith and also analyzing in the interest of the country. We don't have to align necessarily in terms of our views and concepts and ideas of development.
No, not at all, not at all. So let's go to the Standard. And in the middle of the Standard, a story we can't avoid because it's been making the rounds. Barrow threatens to sue the voice-over Jah succession story. The Jah being our CEO, Mohamed Jah. This one says the president is threatening to sue. I don't know whether he's going to sue or just threatening to sue. But
I think they've given the newspaper an ultimatum to make a statement
of
withdrawal.
Because they quoted sources saying that this had happened.
But this is going to be a very difficult thing because, you know, journalists are normally privileged not to disclose their source. So, and they have to find what are the defamatory aspect of it. Is his character impinged or imputed? What are the issues? So it's not going to be an easy thing.
It's not going to be easy because these rumors, not just about this, but about anything, these political rumors come and they go. And generally, you should just let them come and go.
Yeah, definitely. You know.
I have to say, I was quite surprised when I read that threatening to sue. I'm like, oh, come on. I mean, this piece from the newspaper, interesting ideas, speculative, call it what you will, but nothing really damaging.
No,
so I'm thinking about what is damaging about this.
And that's what
I cannot see anything damaging in that way.
You know what I mean?
There you go. The legal arguments have already started, so let's play in there. All we can say is all is speculative in the public domain.
So top left, another one that we keep hearing about ever since I've come to the Gambia. Families of Bakau boat victims speak. Every week, you know, when I circulated this, I'm on a WhatsApp family group, and they were like, how come every week you're talking about people drowning who are trying to go on this so-called back way? Because I said, it's the reality.
It's a very difficult and challenging phenomenon.
Yeah, and sometimes the numbers are just heartbeaking.
Yes,
you know.
especially this week, Senegal, they said about 200 people.
200 people
in one boat.
And then you had the 30 decomposed bodies that were just found off the coast of Senegal.
And these are real. When the photos of these people were published, then it comes closer to home that these are real people. Some of them very, very young. With aspirations, but what's the rush? I know, and even going to Europe does not guarantee anything
at all.
And it's hard to convey to these people that, you know, let's see how we can stay here and make it work. You don't have to escape. You have to engage, be politically conscious, and make the right decisions in terms of policymakers, in terms of people that will bring programs that will. Those are the things that we have to engage with the young people, make them conscious to understand. But it's difficult. It's a challenge for Senegal, Gambia. These are especially these three countries. I think Gambia in our sub-region. Gambia, Senegal. I think Nigeria have gone down a bit.
Bissau as well.
Bissau as well. So I don't know. It's
and the weird thing is, I mean, one of the countries that has the highest number of migrants, but not irregular migrants, is actually Cape Verde. I mean, in the whole of Africa, it's the only country which has more of its citizens living outside than in it. The only country.
Yeah, because maybe they have a
but
passage.
They go through.
But they are trying to work on that. I'm sure the EU or the partners who are directly affected would have realized that this cannot continue.
We had the Spanish PM.
Because the Africans find it difficult also to have legitimate visa to go to some of these countries. And those who have no hope whatsoever, they'll have to find means of getting there. Migration has been in existence. The Europeans were the first people who came to hustle in Africa anyway. And they came, they took our silver and gold. They told us learning is better than silver and gold. As we are learning.
Even though really we are the original migrants in the sense that life began in Africa, then we moved out.
Humanity migrates.
Humanity migrates. Sure. But for me, this backway thing is beginning to seem like the analogy I will use here is like a death cult.
Yeah, because
you have all these inflamed ideas about living. We talk about the risks one is taking. It's extraordinary.
The huge risks.
Ibrahim Abalade the other day said that the success rate is only about 5%. Yeah. But you see, that success rate, it is what is fueling this dream, this illusion.
Everybody thinks they will be part of that 5%.
There are push and pull factors. The push factors, in certain instances, I can understand where there are conflicts.
Sure.
And then you have no choice but to leave, okay? But you have a dictator that is imprisoning, disappearing, like under Jammeh, Gambians started really going out. And that is when it started. Some of those that went out started building homes, making a difference in their families. And they were using that route of asylum. And now that is no longer there, but then already people have to come to believe that you have to be there to make it. And life is about risks.
And we had Pedro Sanchez come recently, and he's tried to do this deal.
That's the Spanish
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister,
And because I've been following it since he went back, interestingly, the analogy that they're drawing with that is with Germany. When Germany had what they call guest workers, mainly from Turkey. They were meant to come for 2 years. Some of them have been there 40 years now. And they're saying that that is what's going to happen to you in Spain. These people, you can come, you can say they can come for 2 years and go back. But when they come and their families come or they start families, they never go back. And now the biggest minority apart in Germany are Turkish. Because of that guest worker.
They share borders anyway, Turkey and Germany, so that is natural. That we'll find a lot of. I find a lot. But I'm saying, Ade, you know, the Europeans must understand now their population is in decline as well.
Yeah, of course.
And you have a lot of youthful population in Africa, so they need them. They can create channels. I've seen a bill recently passed so that in Saudi Arabia they can have migrants to go there legally, and others. Let all these countries open up. You know, if it were not for issues of racism, we saw the conflict in Ukraine, they immediately opened all the floodgates and allowed them to come. And we see other so there are underlying racial issues also that ought to be looked into, in terms of both may have reservation.
I'm just thinking of the rivers of blood.
Speech by Powell.
So this idea of immigration, who we are, national identity, who belongs, who doesn't, us and them. It has always been really with humans, that's it. So right now we are seeing a sort of resurgence of this nationalistic ethnic, was it in the 30s, remember? In the 30s, what happened in Europe? It seems we are seeing a resurgence of this. All surveys are showing you in all the countries, the far right, they're gaining
across Europe,
popularity across Europe. So where would it lead to?
Yesterday
the last
in France,
time it led to the Holocaust.
Well, this is it. Yesterday,
I'm not saying it's going to lead to that.
But you never know.
You just never know.
I mean, just yesterday in France, the interior minister has said that they're going to change the immigration laws. Why? Because of a single murder by an immigrant who had been jailed for rape and then released, and he was meant to be deported. He wasn't deported. He killed a student. That single murder. So when we were doing the story yesterday in the news, we didn't go with it in the end. I said to the person, check how many murders there were in France in the same period over the last 12 months. There were 1,010 murders. But because of one murder, they're going to change their immigration rule.
That's what I'm saying. It's the underlying tone of racism, that is embedded in all these situations.
But I think time
Look at UK, what happened recently. There was
these riots
that killed 3 pupils, very young girls, unfortunately. And some rumors were spread that they are immigrants coming
they were
from
Muslims.
And that was not the case.
There was one there.
So because of that emotion, that sentiment about that racial undertone is what they would exploit some of these xenophobic, disillusioned people, just to stir trouble. And that's unfortunate.
But this back way thing, I don't see the end of it. But I think that will take us to a break.
It's even happening between UK and France. You have it now.
The cross in the channel. Well, thank you, Mr. Carr, for joining us for the newspaper review. We'll go for a quick break. And when we come back, we will delve into health and safety matters. So once again, Mr. Carr, thank you. And viewers, stay tuned to join us after this break.
It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunibus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus, we innovate, others follow.
Hello and welcome back. You're watching This Morning here on QTV, the morning show that's better pick up than a cup of hot coffee first thing in the morning. And we just had MD Malik Kar going through the newspapers with us. And then now we have Mr. Abdou Cisse. He's a civil engineer and a health and safety officer. And you're going to think, Gambia, health and safety, those things seem like mutually exclusive. Certainly what I've missed. Mr. Abdou Cisse, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers, and good morning, those in the studio. It's a pleasure to be here, and we are grateful with the entire QTV management that they invite me here today to give a discussion about health and safety.
Sure.
But first, I am Mr. Abdou Cisse, as you say, a civil engineer, health and safety management officer, who is advocating voluntarily in this act of which I have established since 20 December 2023.
Okay.
When I wrote this article, I reached so many offices like the government office.
Right.
But unfortunate, I was given a gate by one who is Honorable C.D. S.K. Njai, the Deputy Speaker.
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, so he gave me the gateway to reach where I am today.
Okay.
So
what prompted you to write the article? Because something must have spurred you.
Yeah, I have been here working with so many institutions. I trained petroleum entrepreneurship in 2006 to 2009.
Okay.
Then worked with Total Oil under the leadership of Total. Even Mr. Yafa, the sales manager, is my manager before.
Okay, okay.
He knows me very well.
That's Mr. Yafa of
Mr.
the
Yafa, yeah.
Q
so
group,
then I joined the Total company,
right.
and after that I come to join GNPC also, Gambia National Petroleum Corporation. From there, we were trained basically in petroleum entrepreneur to business in the petroleum, but in safety measures, basic. So then when I traveled to the Kingdom of Qatar, or the state of Qatar, I developed my career of health and safety with IOS and also some part of NIBOS.
Right.
So when I came to the Gambia, I feel like the Gambia is very dormant with this aspect.
Hey, which is I was kind of hinting at the beginning there.
And being trained
I said mutually exclusive, but yes.
Being trained to at least learn to apply.
Sure.
When you see a society that is doomed with this article, you have been nurtured with it, with knowledge and experience, obviously it's a trigger.
So you become a kind of advocate for health and safety.
So I said to my mind, no, we have to come with our experience and knowledge to advocate the know-how of or the awareness of health and safety, because it's very paramount. Any developed country where you go, you cannot just have a 20 people working capacity without a health and safety officer. So why not Gambia adopt it? So I start doing this, gathering information, going to the field, trying to interact with the people. I know that it's very dormant. Then I write the article, which is here. Then I will share later. Then also I reach to Honorable Sidinjai. He take me to fires and rescue.
So the article, what was it saying? What was it proposing? And what was it? What were you advocating in that article?
I am advocating.
You described it as dormant, and then you went around interacting with them. So why? What do you mean by that? Why? What did you find out about why it was dormant so that you can tackle it?
The society is not aware of the measures of health and safety. And the institutions that are running in high risks, like OMC, the oil marketing companies, construction side, even like QCell, those going to the towers, they feel like, this is a very, less over concept. And without safety, you cannot grow. Safety first, that's the concept. So we have to adopt safety of the safeguard of our society first, the liabilities that are the human resources and the assets. So if you don't have that, we are encouraging hazard and risks.
So let me ask you something before we delve deep into it, whilst it's in my head. Because you mentioned where you started with the oil companies and so on.
Yes.
There's always been this kind of rumor, myth or whatever, and maybe you can put it to bed, about how close to buildings people can build a petrol station. For example, you hear all these rules about, oh, it must be a certain number of meters, but I see some that are right next to residential buildings. So what's the fact on that before we delve into the rest of it?
In petroleum concept, even that one also, environmental health, you cannot build a petrol station within the vicinity of the environment like resident without 50 meters.
I heard the 50 meter thing.
But in the Gambia, we are so unfortunate. And if you want to advocate my brother, it's very challenging. So it's very challenging. But alhamdulillah, we are doing well. Because I think we will have the gateway to put the government into the right track. That we have to ensure this adopt.
So are you trying to, is part of the advocacy that you're trying to get legislation that will actually enforce these and make them enforceable?
We are on it. We are on track, and what we are aiming is to ensure the government to put these measures into compulsory act. Because I see one company who is an organization who is employing more than 1,000 Gambians without health and safety officer.
Okay, we won't name them, of course.
So but it's very unsafe, like employing even 30 people without having somebody taking their welfare into measures of health risks and hazard. It's very risky.
Before you came on, I'd said to the viewers that both myself and Malik Kar, who was sitting where you are now, we're both obsessed about this. In my very last job, even though I was a senior manager, I was also a health and safety officer. So if anything happened, whether there was a fire, and people had to be evacuated, that was my job. You know, as well as, you know, and we did special training apart from the job that we did on our day-to-day, and they would do a drill every single month. Every month.
Conduction.
Exactly. So what are some of the things that you're trying to get brought in?
As of now, we are just doing the pipeline of forming the team, because I cannot go without having a team that will coordinate. So I'm forming the team to orient them into the act of safety measures, so that they can also know where they step in. So after that, we already built our foundation, and with the constitution to register, then we will engage and have a function. If you have a function, we will collaborate with the government, like institutions like PURA, Public Health, Workers Union, Fire and Rescue Service, because all those people, those institutions are very important in health and safety. So we will conduct training facilities to institutions. We will put a control measure to ensure the government that this is very important, and the Gambia is growing now, so we need to adopt it in an act. It should be a compulsory, because companies cannot take risks of the liabilities they are employing the staff.
Mr. Amboj, do you want to come in?
Yes, I'm still fascinated by this idea, because when I ask you about this dormancy that you're talking about, you seem to attribute it to ignorance. But sometimes I wonder, how willing are they? What prospects do you see for progressive change in this, from your experience?
At first we have to engage the society into the awareness. Because if you don't know what we are doing, you might see it like, in the Gambia, like some people are biased to do the needful, because it's not only me who know more than this, but people feel that this is an area that we have to left less. But if we advocate, as I'm doing now, advocate for the society that this is the right way, safeguard yourself before somebody saves you, because safety first.
Correct. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned that, and just picking up on that, because since I've been here, we've done lots of stories about fires. And when we've gone to the place, you look at the wiring, and you see that, and I always say to people, you might be doing something cheap, but the expense is that it could cost you your life, it could cost you your house. Are you really prepared to pay that price for the sake of a few $1,000 extra to get somebody to do it properly?
Not only you, but the environment you are, the vicinity you are. And this had to come with fire and rescue service conduct, because that aspect, even to build a story like 5 or 6, Gambia should not go there. Because we don't have that capacity whereby you will have your lifter and you want to climb. If there is an incident, how could you go like that? So all these mentalities should come to the society, that we know, not having the money to build, to show up, but involve the measures of safety in it.
Sure, sure.
Absolutely. But
sure.
yeah, but this is it.
Yeah.
Now I will begin to wonder, what institutional arrangements or organizational structures are there to make sure that we reach this ideal where
or
we
is that
take
what you're trying to bring about?
See, that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
because without that, really, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
That was why I asked you earlier, what prospects are there given what is in place so that we can have these outcomes and the responses of people, the willingness, not simply of government, but ordinary folk as well. It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? Most people, we blame ignorance, but I'm like, it's about habits.
Habits, the attitudes contribute.
Well, quite, because in England, they have, you go to anywhere, people just have the 3 letters in their head, HSE, Health and Safety Executive.
It's
Executive. And we know what they stand for.
Even where in the Gulf, you cannot operate in a company with 10 people without health and safety. So why not Gambia? So we have, that's why I come with this track to work in hand with the government, like institutions that are collaboratively to push this agenda into the Gambia, that this should be compulsory. Like you cannot build a petrol station without taking that measures. And it has to be a compulsory act, because we are not doing this for today, but we are doing this for the safeguard of future Gambia.
Sure. So
and we want to engage in the schools to sensitize.
Of course, and that's another point I was going to, how do you advocate? Is it you go to the schools, the colleges, try and catch people young?
We are open.
But also, when we're talking about dormants, are there some safety rules that are being flouted, that are not being observed already?
Yes.
And if so, what are they? So, and how do we shake up this whole
because
sector?
Here, if you come to food safety, road safety,
right,
and it's very key. Like environmental safety, that are the OMCs and the construction environment.
Sure.
They don't put it into measure, and those are the key area. What our target is now, to go in for occupational safety, and go for environmental health, and go for road safety, because we already established a food and safety security.
Sure.
That is food, health and safety.
We
will collaborate with them to push them to also nurture this awareness into the eyes of the people, because like these small vendors, sumo yumpany munge jai, mburonye besi konje. You just take it barely. You just give it to when you are contaminated, because you cannot see the bacteria in your eyes. So students take it and eat it, they have food poisoning. So all those things will come to measures that will engage with the government that, okay, these are the protocols we have to use. Let them have their hand gloves, sensitize themselves. Being, we have some personal health care who go and inspect them with the conduct of food safety, and we will have a safe country for future health and safety.
There was one place I used to go and buy food when I came here newly, and I became so concerned that I went and bought them a packet of 1,000 disposable gloves. I said, this is what you should be using if you're dispensing food, really. And, and they're biodegradable gloves as well. So, yeah, I mean, but I think you have quite a task on your hand, Mr. Mboch. I don't know if you want to...
Yes, I'm wondering, how long have you been doing this advocacy? Can I call it that? Activism? Stuff. How long have you been doing it? And what differences do you think that you've seen? What has been changing? Have you made any progress?
Yeah, it's been like 8 to 9 months now, because since February I'm on it.
Okay.
I reached to so many media outlets, namely Fatu Network, iAfrica TV, Star TV. Today I'm in QTV.
But we've been trying to get you for a long time. I have to.
So I'm seeing there is a progress, because the message is being clear.
Sure.
And it's going like Gambian also are adopting me in this act, like they feel that I'm on the right track. I have so many, people who are following, being in the government, diplomats for that, being in the society, private sector. I'm engaging myself with them. Though I have some challenges. I knock sometimes, they feel like, oh, you are disturbing. But it's normal, because they don't get what I get. If they get what I get, they know that I'm doing this for Gambia. It's not for my personal update. Sure. Because me, I put safety. If I enter in a car, last time I do it, the guy take, I'm a police. I say, I'm not a police. I'm just saving you, because when you enter a car, put, and it's a law.
Yeah, seat belt.
So these are the challenges I'm facing sometimes, but I do take it as a normal thing, because I have to engage myself in this track. So I have to be patient with that. So I'm seeing the progress that, inshallah, when we do our registration by next week or more, we will advocate for general meeting. Whoever want to come, I will share the link. You come and join us. Then I will tell you my agenda.
Sure.
Then if you want to join us, we join, because now it's voluntarily. But maybe we're hoping that in the future it can lead to something that will benefit the Gambia.
Sure.
So these are the progress I see in it, and I will challenge it, inshallah.
So it's in his infancy.
So
your advocacy.
So based on, if I just go back briefly,
yes,
and then we jump forward, was there a single incident or something that happened that kind of set you off on this journey? Because sometimes when people get something that they're passionate about, that they advocate for, something happened, or they saw something, or they became aware of something. Was there a single incident, or was it just a kind of cumulative thing over time?
No, I recall back to some institution that I know, like when in 2008, when I was working with Total Oil, an incident happened in Birkama, Elton. Then it was Elton. What happened is carry on. What happened is just the driver, the tank driver, and the loader was discharging. They knocked the nozzle and it's expired.
Whoa.
So it was an incident that motivated me, because it's not just now I start advocating, but I write even with GNPC, when I was working with GNPC, that let's take measures.
Okay.
And also I work with one institution here, staff were stabbed, aggression, and take the money. The institution don't take any, caution to support those staff, which is just because there is no health and safety. I reached their manager and tell her, she was saying like, we don't have that capacity of, employing the Office of Health and Safety. You want to have money, you don't want to save that.
This is it.
So these are the concept that is posing me to this. I say, no, Gambia now, we have to come with a compulsory policy, because these people doing business, they want to use the public, and without giving them the safety assurance. So it's very risky. So if these are incidents that happen, or you go to the road, you find an accident that happened, you know that if this driver was not taking his safety measures, that lead to accident. Because you can control near miss and accidents.
Of course. I'm smiling because my own car was destroyed by a driver whose vehicle didn't have brakes and he didn't have a license. So I know. But if we project forward, just to kind of wrap up, yes, you want to get certain things done. And if I were to say to you, 5 years' time, what would you like to have seen instituted, either legally or so on? Just to kind of...
Yeah, in 5 years' time, I want to be their family, establish this foundation, and it will be like 100% safety. That's my target.
Okay. So that's your target, 100% safety. If you then roll back, if you were to give the percentage now, what would you say the percentage was currently?
Yeah, right now we are at 30%, I think, because having the willingness of the youths that are on back on me, that team who was not knowing anything about safety.
So the team, how many people are we talking about?
We're talking about like 40 to 50.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. These people are really well, in back of me and trying to adopt the system. So if we have a student safety project, or we have a sensitization project supported by the government, where we can mobile from here to Koina, given the knowledge we have, we will go. We are ready to engage.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mr. Mboch?
No, for me this is quite interesting. For what you're trying to do, we get it, to reorient mindsets and all the rest of it, to be thinking about health and safety, more, granted. But in the short term, what do you think would be the key, really, to start that change?
The kickstart.
Because one thinks that enforcement, you see, in the short term,
enforcement
is really very important to change people's conduct. You cannot change our beliefs, but you can change the conduct. Otherwise there's a penalty for it. What do you think of the nature of our enforcement? How efficient has it been? Because without that institutional efficiency, oh my God, you have an impossible job.
That enforcement you are saying can be at least supported by the government, because the government should put the penalties fine upon these measures. that if anybody is fault, like the seat belt in the front, if you are caught without a seat belt, the driver have to pay a penalty of $500.
Sure.
So every driver, when you enter, he will tell you, okay, put the belt.
Like
you like it or not? So these are the penalties that the government should come with and have supported me towards that. Okay, we have now a safety officer foundation that will link with the government, and we will put measures on penalties of this. If you have fault, like in the construction, you see some masons will go and without safety boots,
without
PPE,
helmet,
personal protective equipment. So it's very risky, bro. So we are pushing up, but we wish that you pray for us, then we see that green light.
That's Abdul Cisse, civil engineer, health and safety officer. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And thank you. And I'm sure we'll have you back on
again. This is the
again.
constitution.
Right.
I will share it like here.
Okay, cool.
This is the Constitution for Health and Safety Measures Network.
We'll try and get an electronic copy.
So I have it. I will take your number and I will share it with you.
We can let them
and I will share the article. This was the article I drawn.
Appreciate that.
So
again,
we have
if people want it.
Yes. We have the team number that we are also planning to register.
Right.
So we are on track.
Okay, good.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for coming.
I really appreciate, and I am very grateful today.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll bring you here in 5 years' time and we'll have hit that 100%.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And so viewers, at this point we'll take a break, and when we come back we'll have not Mr. Mboj presenting Click, but Churchill presenting Click. Join us after this break.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Aji Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulma Jamba. Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulma Joylo. Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulma Nahara. And I book Jordan. And I Jazilan, Ya Habibi. After Victor Kasiran. Uridun Kasiran, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulbay, Bulbay, Ya Habibi, Buldem, Bulbay, Ya Habibi, Bulbay, Bulbay, Ya Habibi, Buldem, Bulbay, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Buldem Baima, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulma Jamba, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulma Joylo, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulma Nahara, Ya Habibi, I love you, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Dainis Wine, Ya Habibi, Arab you book, Ya Habibi, I love you, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Dainis Wine, Ya Habibi, Arab you book, Mindum, Bulbay, Mindum, Bulbay, Mindum, Bulbay, Mindum, Bulbay, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi, Bulbay, Ya Habibi, Ya Habibi.
Yes, hello and welcome back. And now to the final segment. It is the one you've been waiting for. Click. Hey, Churchill.
Yes, sir.
Over to you. Take it away.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning from wherever you're watching us from. It's your man right here, Churchill Ballet, on the Click segment. Like Mr. Adi rightly said, this is the bit that you've been waiting for. And today, I won't call this a surprise because you've seen it already. You know, we have an amazing couple in the studio. You know, One Pac in the building. And he's not alone today. He is with the wife, the amazing wife. So you better news of fancy. Feeling out.
Welcome to this.
Welcome to the program.
So honored, honestly, so honored and grateful. You know, excited as well, and deem it fit as a chance of, you know, I mean, pouring my heart out.
True. And not only are you alone, you came with a wife.
Yeah, that's my half. She played many roles in my life. She played the part of wife, companion,
nice.
You know, I mean, partner, manager, caretaker, second mother. I'm just blessed.
Yeah, blessed to have a wonderful wife.
I'm
nice.
just lucky, man.
Nice. Welcome. So let's talk about the success of the album, ST Brikama Boy. You have an album that you named after ST. So how is the album doing so far after its release?
Wallahi, no complaints. It's doing great. You get me? Because my albums and music is never shared by none of these bloggers or platforms, you know what I mean?
And promoters.
Or promoters. No, you don't have to say even promoters. In Gambia, you don't have promoters.
What do we have?
We have businessmen.
Why do you call them businessmen instead of promoters?
Before they come to your aid, or before they will be attending to you, you know what I mean? These are the qualities they were looking for. Like the whole country is, for example, be like ST, Jizzle, and who?
Hussein.
Nah.
You have to be a mainstream artist. Like everybody should be talking about you for them to.
I'm not saying names I didn't call. You know what I mean? Upgrading or demising any artist out there. It's just I'm taking Jizzle and ST as my example.
Okay.
For the morning show. Why bente tamit kuko gisele nen tamit.
No,
I don't care.
We understand. We understand.
Okay.
So what can be done to change that?
So when you get those kind of attention, they will come. Those are no promoters, bro.
Okay.
These are businessmen. Boy, said they are coming, you know what I mean, flying to Europe for shows and all that. We just misinterpret it like, I mean, those are promoters. No. They are all businessmen. You have only one promoter in Gambia, that's Pa Malik Mbai. Mamjara Promotion. Promotion and production, both. You get me?
That's clear.
He will pick you from scratch, make you a star.
That's
clear. You get me?
That's
so
clear.
if Gambia have 5 of Pa Malik, and I mean, recently we're having Tony stepping in, Onyx, you know what I mean, and Atip, Johnny too.
That's clear. That's
you
clear.
have 3 of those people, but that's the responsibility of the arts and culture. But these people are taking it in their own hand, you get me, putting their resources there. You, the one dealing with them, will know that this guy don't need nothing from me. He's doing this for my, you know what I mean, advantage or on my advantage. You get me? But it's like, if we have to just equalize every artist, it will be cool. Because me, my albums are doing great only on my platforms.
Okay.
And my followers are all organic. I'm not an artist who by view. Or, you know what I mean, pays to get verified, or I've been verified long time before verification. I'm telling you.
Okay.
You get me? But me doing it alone and being there alone, it's not like I'm complaining. I'm content with what's going on with me. I just have 5 years outside and in what I'm doing. I'm not a musician, I'm an artist. The rest are all musicians. They're not artists. Any other claimed artists in this country.
We have ST, we have Jizzle, we have all of them.
Well, he's not calling names.
You know what you... No, you can call names.
I will call names because you said names.
That's you.
Yeah.
Those you mentioned are not the only artists here.
Just to
or
name
claimed artists here. You understand what I'm saying? I said any existing claimed artists in this country are all not artists. They are singers, musicians. I'm the only true artist, me, only.
So what's the differentiation?
The difference,
the viewers are asking.
Thank you very much. That they can only sing and survive only in singing. But for me, alhamdulillah, I'm not bragging. I'm just grateful and glorious, you know what I mean, about what God is doing for me. I can sing, I can entertain, I can educate, I can advocate, I can sensitize, I can equalize my society. Yet still, on my personal therapy, doing my basic accord routines of the day, going through what I'm going through on the social media by critics and all that, which I'm not used to. Having the youngest career among any,
any mainstream artist.
You get me? Any mainstream artist. And independently doing it like them.
Yeah.
So I'm an artist.
Cool.
That's clear.
Churchill, can I jump in with one question?
You can.
What started you on this journey? How did this journey start for One Pac?
I'll give you a straight answer. This journey is like, it's not a journey even, it's like a deal with me and God. Starts in my ending days at the incarceration center or prisons and all that. I mean, that's fine. I prayed I finished praying 5 o'clock. Then I was kind of doing my beat, and it just popped into my mind. Pac, almost a decade and something you've been going in here, coming out. It reflects on my mother first. Said to me, yeah, and you've been disgracing your mother. If she die, you're gonna be the cause of her death. Can't you see how belittling you are belittling her? You're killing her slowly.
Wow.
And your clan, you are a disgrace to your clan. You are a disgrace to the youth, especially to the human race. What benefit do you have from going in and being what you are that will lead you here? And it comes. Why not you talk about yourself, protect the undefiled brain? Hence you can say sorry to the whole world. But then again, I used to feel a heat just around the corner, around me, wheresoever I am. But I know something gonna happen, but I don't know what.
Right.
Then my last thought goes to, yo, God. What God says, He ain't gonna owe nobody. Yet still, God, me, the life I'm in, and what's bringing me here is not godly accepted or worldly. And you know I don't like it. You get me? I don't want it. I don't want to come here again. I will try, but don't make me repeat anything like this, please. Or else, you are responsible of anything I commit now out there.
Right. That's quite a story.
Yeah?
That's quite a story. Churchill, over to you.
Yeah.
So I take from there I take a pen.
Sure.
That's my first and last time of writing. Was in my mind.
Wow.
I just wrote about Suge, this baby uprising criminals that are controlling the country now. And this is it.
Wow.
So ever since then, you never turned back?
I came out and I used my mother's phone with my phone. I played an instrument here. I do the recording of myself here on the other phone. That was Nimu Butisunga and Watson Gambia, Bop.
Nice.
Blow it. You hear me? But well before that, I owe and give thanks to Empire Radio and TV at Gunjur, because that's the Mburo keep. Those are the people who really, really blow me.
Nice. So if you look at your life, from ever since you started this journey up till date, what is one thing that you are grateful for? Your whole entire career. What is one thing that you are really, really grateful for?
Then I'll be very, very, very self-centered if I have to have a choice onto my achievements.
No, we know there's a lot,
or
but
maybe,
just few.
Maybe your wife, who is partner, manager, and so on.
Yeah,
maybe you can come in. Yeah. Maybe you can come in here.
I'm grateful to everything.
Please, and you can speak in Wolof because he's described you in so glowing terms about what you mean to him and what you mean to each other. And I just wonder whether, particularly this current project, and you in the video and so on, I just wonder if you can say something.
English. Francais or Wolof?
Francais.
When you didn't say Wolof.
Churchill.
So like mu xolam kañ waaw Pac nee na nga wasa xol so si kalama wolof suma elle bi lu nekk
tell we can't have a city and say nothing.
waaw suma elle bi lu nekk di wax mooy Pac mashallah depuis boo ñëwee si life am gis nañ turn around bi understand what I mean from lum doonoon ba tey lum nekk understand wax toogal rek
non damay woon gars yi di ngeen ko yëg
waaw ba pare Pac nee na ne yow yaa ngi play rôle yi manager nekkul jabar rek rôle yi manager xarit ku ko advice understand ku ko yedda understand so léegi yow la nga am pour wax si loolu noonu.
waaw maa ngi nuyu ñi ñuy seetaan di nuyu ñi fi toog ñëpp waaw dama ñëwoon pour sëy waaye dama gis ne dafa musicien la mi ngi artiste la te gisuma kenn ku nekk ci ginnaawam te jabar dafa la war a féete fépp
dëgg la
moo tax ma jàppale ko ci moo tax ma jàppale ko ci musique am bu dee sëy tamit li ma warloog moom tamit maa ngi koy def ci kër ga.
macha allah macha allah loolu moom leer na nañ. So
I feel alive.
I can.
I swear to God, you don't understand. I feel alive.
Yeah.
It's just when I think of myself or try to glorify myself, you know what I mean? Then again, I have a condemnation, you know, before reaching extra 50%.
Okay.
On feeling great. Cause I feel like, you know what I mean, I will be talking independently. You know what I mean? Independent sense to my past.
Sure, right.
If I can do it, you out there as a youth watching me, if you fail, you are foolish, huh?
But you have a particular project which we would like to talk to you about.
Yeah, 27.
Because I think that's very much part of it. Because time might be against us, but you know.
I get what you're saying. So this is the reason I tell him, create more time for me, man. Because this is a masterpiece.
So Churchill,
I'm a content.
So tell us about this project.
Yeah, I understand for my wife.
Yo, right now, time
man, I knew. Understand, personal or for QTV. Man, I'm the content you've been looking for. Yeah, I understand for my wife. Project be a pipeline be right now. Be national interest based on national interest will be like the free show we about to drop at Jakarlo football field. You get me?
And what is the theme of the program?
I'm saying no to drugs and youth empowering or empowerment.
Okay.
Free concert. You get me? But Tony, the proprietor of Onyx. You know what I mean?
So what's the date of the concert?
Doing it with me or wanting to do it with me. Because he promised he's going to do a sound on the stage and all that.
Okay.
But I capitalized when I'm honoring this invitation, made my mind to go check Auntie Ami. You know what I mean? Ask her first. You know what I mean? Why am I missing her? One. Two. You get me?
Auntie Ami, I hope you...
For those who don't know...
cut me.
No, for those who don't know, tell us what Ami ngay wax. Déglu ma Pac, dama déglu. Pour gars xam... Dama la final question in the way boo xamante ne daf la favor. For those people that don't know which Ami you are talking about.
Auntie Ami
tell them which Ami that you are talking about.
Auntie Ami Kiwsel.
Xam nga yow li ma la bindee jubóotul.
Bul dégg duñ fi duuloo nag. Duñ fi duuloo de fii. Auntie Ami Kiwsel, we are all in the same boat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? After ma check ko. Laaj ko. Lu indi duuloo bi ko man understanduma. Hard to reach. One, te moom bokk na ak Kiwsel ñu tax ak Awa Ismaila. Xam nga ak Hatib ñu tax sama change lu bari. You know what I mean? Su passé suma yaay ak suma jabar ndi ñoom ñooy suma gaace ak victory right now. You know what I mean? So
man bokkuma si ak loo ma dee wax yëpp.
Yow yaa ngi cool yow partenaire you gin this yaa ngi understand? So Auntie Ami foog ma laaj ko loolu njëkka du ko doo ko roos.
She's watching.
Yeah.
So it's direct
message.
Munamane is all right. You know what I mean? So suma third question was like, you know what I mean, can I bring our little letter? This is it.
You're in the building.
Yeah, because how much I def. So man hara manyo matagangum. So normally ma indicate. Wow. Noonu la fa demee. Waaye kayit boobu pour lan la tamit pour xam nga ñu supportal ma suma event bi. You know what I mean on 27 October. Say no to drug. You get me? Ak youth demise bi. How the kush. It's not only kush, uncle.
Just drugs.
Drugs in general.
Not everybody is doing kush.
Yeah, quite.
As a youth and falling or going astray. You get me? And when we say youth, not only Halebugur, Janghai Sanyufa, they've been raped and you know what I mean, and all that. Exploited, extorted, you know, used.
So this isn't just, like you said, you're an artist.
It's not me.
It's not just about music.
It's
about a message.
You get me? Yeah, and I'm having a tall list of trying to reach any part that I can access to. You know what I mean? With one CRR member of parliament, I don't know what Fatu, something Fatu, you know, but I have over 10 villages, you know what I mean, that we will be having our free shows.
Before we have to wrap up.
And all that.
Use this opportunity to talk about your EP with that 1 minute, because almost time behind.
My EP is coming November, inshallah.
What is
it should be on the 2nd, but Dogfather is dropping Sanji Follow on the 2nd. Gambia go out and support ko. You know what I mean? Mom Bahabi du gena du wale seka ak guy ngeen ay tobo ak yoyu non. Bahabi fi la mo stay. You know what I mean?
Do title EP.
Man suma title EP. Dogfather event mota ma cancel suma on the 2nd bi man tamit. You know what I mean? So, but after there we will.
Amagolo to the EP.
To the EP, who can do it?
Who can do it? Kumun na def, kumun na bay.
Who can do it?
Manjona ko lolo pere, kumun na def, kumun na bay.
Who can do it?
But what is one misconception about you that you want to clarify? Because nobody, the idea we use put content, and you don't know it is different. It's a different thing creating the content and bullying an individual. So I want you to wrap up with that.
Wow.
Because recently you have an issue with someone.
You have 30 seconds.
That issue, no issue, Simansa. You know what I mean? Some fake hypocrite Gambians nyoko buga the issue. You know what I mean? By neglecting to see, to correct a youth going astray and doing what's going to demise him or her in the near future by him doing a thing that it feels like is okay when it's not. But to whom he is doing it or she is doing it is just almost a public enemy. So it's like that. So what I will say to that part is like, you know, I mean, a content and bullying with harassment, you get me, is different. A content is educating and entertaining. Sure. And bullying is different, bro. So time to say something.
Thank you.
No, why time? They're
going to cut.
Gambia, Gisnen.
So until we come your way next week. Thank you for watching this morning. And thank you for staying with us. And One Pac, thank you.